Hello, my name is Todd Silvius, and thanks for downloading this video tutorial on how to use a curriculum guide for the summer school cyber program. If you're enrolled in a science class or a math class for summer school, your cyber school summer teacher might have emailed you a curriculum guide. A curriculum guide is simply a listing of the entire course that you signed up and registered to complete. If you take a look along the left here, you'll see, for example, in an Algebra 1 course, how long the entire course is. However, as you see by the yellow shaded areas, according to this pretend scenario, we're seeing that my Algebra 1 cyber teacher has instructed me to complete only certain areas, highlighted in yellow. Finding these areas and where they're located inside of the cyber course is fairly easy if you take a close look at how the lines are indented. Each indentation represents a different level of folder structure inside of the course. But before I get ahead of myself too much here, let's take a look inside of the course and see what this means. So I already have my student demonstration password and username set up here. I'm going to head on into my demonstration account. Okay, we'll set that screen up here, and let's bring up that pacing guide so it's right next door. Okay, great. Now, for this scenario, I'm a summer school Algebra 1 student, so I'm going to click on my Algebra 1 course. And you can see in here, in the first level of folders, I have some that are titled Real Numbers, Introduction to Algebra, Writing and Solving Equations, Proportional Reasoning, so on and so forth. You can see this level of folders over here in the curriculum guide. Here's Real Numbers, here's Introduction to Algebra, here's Writing and Solving Equations, here's Proportional Reasoning, so on and so forth. Now, going along with this pretend scenario here, I'm an Algebra 1 student, and I see that my first yellow shaded area is Introduction to Algebra. So, I'm going to completely skip over the Real Numbers folder. I don't have to do any of these activities in there. Where I'm going to go is into the Introduction to Algebra folder. So let me click on there first, over here. Inside of the Introduction to Algebra folder, and you can see that's confirmed up here at the top of the screen, there are 3 folders inside of that: Algebraic Expressions, Problem Solving Plan, Adding and Subtracting Algebraic Expressions. Well, take a look at the curriculum guide. Under Introduction to Algebra is Algebraic Expressions, Problem Solving Plan, and Adding and Subtracting Algebraic Expressions. So, since I have to do all these folders in here, I'm going to start with the leftmost one. To me, that makes the most sense. So I'm going to head into Algebraic Expressions. And you can see that there are 2 activities on the compass screen: a lesson and a follow-up quiz. Additionally, under the lesson is a PDF resource, more or less a worksheet or extra practice problems for the student to do and work with the coach before attempting the quiz. Now it says I should start with Algebraic Expressions and then move on to the quiz. Then, after I'm done with this folder, these icons will get a green check mark on them, and the containing folder, Algebraic Expressions, will also receive a green check mark on top of it. Over here on my curriculum guide, if I wanted to, I can even type the word done next to it if this was sent to me in an editable format. If it is sent to you as PDF and you still want to write a checkoff list or something on this file to indicate that you have completed it, feel free to print out your copy of your curriculum guide, and then simply use that good old-fashioned pencil or pen, and then put a checkbox next to it, or the word done or completed, whatever you want, so that you can keep track on paper if you desire. After I'm done with the Introduction to Algebra folder, I simply move on to the Writing and Solving Equations folder. Now, if you remember, that was on our main screen, so we're going to go back one folder set to right here, Introduction to Algebra, Writing and Solving Equations. That's the one that we want. Now, when we go inside, we're going to see equations with rational numbers, multi-step equations, equations with variables on both sides, and also solving for variable and formulas. However, if you notice, in this pretend scenario, my cyber teacher in algebra said that I do not have to complete solving for a variable and formulas. I need to complete only the equations with rational, multi-step, and equations with variables. So let's take a look and see if this folder matches up as well. Here we can see that we are in the Writing and Solving Equations folder at the top, and below it you can see equations with rational numbers, multi-step equations, equations with variables on both sides, and the folder that I do not have to do, solving for a variable and formulas. When I'm done with these activities, each one of these folders will receive a green check mark on it. And when I leave this particular folder, I will leave solving for a variable and formulas without a check mark, because I do not have to do it, as indicated by my science math teacher. And when you're done working on the Compass Learning Odyssey for the day, you want to make sure that you sign out the right way with that button. And then you can also close and save your changes that you might have made to your Excel sheet. And that is the basics of using a curriculum guide for your Compass Learning Odyssey summer school course if you are enrolled in a math or a science course. I hope you found this helpful, and again, thanks for downloading and watching this tutorial.